Hello everyone, my name is Mansi and I'm a sophomore at UCLA studying human biology and society and economics. And today we're going to be talking about the Common App essay, which is the primary essay that you send to all schools through the Common application. Many struggle with coming up with a topic and wonder if their topic is good enough. So if that sounds like you've come to the right place. I have a technique that will help you solidify a topic and execute it perfectly. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about the Common App essay. I'm going to be reading my essay and giving you tips and analyzing like an admissions officer would, and then solidifying how you guys can make the perfect narrative for you in your application. The first step to coming up with the best Common App essay topic is to find a personality trait or cool experience that you want to highlight. This might be how you build trucks all the time or how you have a tendency to make puns, but it could be anything. And the most important part of this is you have to explain and relate this cool experience to a passion of yours academically. So I'm going to be reading my essay now and showing you how I fulfilled these two things. So I'm going to start with the first two paragraphs. It was time. I grabbed my styling kit filled with everything ranging from combs to hair clips and skipped to the room in the corner. As I came closer, I heard my great-grandmother say, "Dup, dup, dup," calling me over. Sitting behind her, I began to whip her withering white hair into a new updo. The sparkle in her eyes as she looked in the mirror every day is captured in the name I gave her, Papa. This idea of naming people I cherish continued when I met my best friend, whom I call Niners. I wrapped up the pleasant memory of eating 9 packets of crunchy seaweed under the playground in her name. Another fond memory of holding my new dog in my arms, exclaiming, "He reminds me of a moon," led to the name Mooney. These names were the way I fostered my own connections with the ones I love. By now you have understood that my unique experience and personality trait was naming people. I was able to use the imagery in the first paragraph and capitalize that through the stories in the second. For any college essay, and especially the Common App essay, the hook is the most important to establish your personality and to attract the admissions officer to read further. You have to not only tell the reader what your unique trait or experience is, but also immerse themselves in your story and personality through imagery. Moving on to the next 2 paragraphs of my Common App essay. When I met Saujanya, however, this idea changed. The first time I saw her, she stood on the opposite side of the field wearing a traditional kurta. Her hair was in a supposed braid, but it fell all over her face. Despite this, her smile and uncontrollable laughter gleamed across, prompting me to talk to her. As I walked closer, I began noticing her unusual mannerisms, screaming at random instances and having no control of her emotion despite her grown age. I later learned that this was due to her autism. Surprised by Saujanya's disability at her age, I decided to go meet her at an activity center. Although initially shy, she introduced her friends, who were all diagnosed with individual disabilities. As I waved to them, I observed that some were not capable to do so, while others were too afraid. I was determined to get through to them. I visited them twice a week, starting off by simply observing their routine art therapy classes and transitioning to aiding with their painting skills. After a month of familiarization, I held a Christmas festival for them, where we sang resident Christmas carols, met Santa, and digressed to dancing to traditional Hindi music. At the end of the day, I waved to all of them, heading towards the exit. After taking a few steps, they all yelled, "Bye, Akka." I stopped in my tracks and turned around to see beaming smiles within the cutest crooked teeth and open mouths. They had all given me a name. My heart swelled with happiness as I ran back to embrace them in a group hug. Akka meant sister in Kannada, their mother tongue. I marveled at the way they were able to encompass all of our memories into one name, just like I did before. It felt amazing to receive a name that symbolized the genuine impact I had made on them to the point that they considered me their family. This part of my essay adds complexity to me as an applicant, as I stated that my unique naming system grew when I met a differently abled young adult. I start off by building tension, however, because the reader doesn't know how my naming system is going to relate to my work with differently abled young adults. But then towards the middle, I make that connection and tell them that it translated to a passion for community service. However, the most important part of this section, in my opinion, is the fact that I weave it all into a story. The fact that I make a connection for the reader, that I started off with naming people, and then the differently abled young adults gave me a name myself, showing them the amount of impact I had on their lives and in our relationship. Moving on to the last two paragraphs of my ComNap essay. By embodying every memory with a person into one name, I can connect with people in unique ways, combining their interests, ideas, and wishes with mine. In school, this meant including the soccer players in volleyball games during PE, while using their soccer goal as a makeshift volleyball net. Or incorporating spirit days to harness the energy displayed in our annual sports day. With my family, this meant connecting with my grandmother by intersecting her love for politics with mine for health. Personally, it meant researching the link between media and health to connect with myself and develop my own interests. As for Sajanya and her friends, we all worked together to use those art therapy classes to make products of their interest, which would allow them to earn a basic income. In fact, they still call me Akka, and I still call myself a namer. Not a professional one, just one who seeks to find happiness through the widest hair or within the crookedest smiles of the people that I cherish. So this is by far my favorite paragraph of my essay, just because it's the crux of it. It shows you exactly how I used this random aspect of my life, this naming system, this cool personality trait, the cool experience that we talked about, and I directly relate it to my passions. So I start off with community service in the second section, and then move on to how I use this to connect with people all throughout my life. My family, my own interests, my own ideas, my peers' ideas. And I think that really makes this essay stand out. So I hope this essay shows you the importance of finding a unique experience and relating that to a passion. This is the general trend you can use to figure out your ComNap essay topic as well. I hope this helped, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other ones on the UC essays. Thank you.